already so much Battlegrounds action, and I have to say I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen a full-on elemental build take first place yet. My ladder experience has been just tons of 80/80 elementals coming out of nowhere and destroying me from 25 health.
Wow, it looks like Silver Name's gonna get a low tier hero for or a lower tier hero for this pick, so it's kind of interesting to see what he's gonna decide on. Personally, I think you could go AFK and try to high roll Dragon and maybe Hungry Dragon start and go for that way. He's been liking the Dragon gameplay that far, so that's definitely a line to do. Murlocs aren't in the pool, making Dino Tamer brand a little bit weaker. Patches is also kind of interesting, so he is going for the strategy that I would probably implement. Go for an early triple, try to get Hungry Dragon, try to get the Bronze Warden, and see if you can use that to carry himself further. So we'll see how it turns out for him.
Rough for Bran because he wasn't that strong to begin with, but as you said, Murloc's not in the pool, and also Pogo Hopper out of the pool as well kind of really limits what you're trying to do. For AFK, I do assume that this is an insta-freeze because on the turn that she becomes active, you do want to have a smooth curve to spend your gold and level.
Yeah, this is definitely works. You can buy this on that turn and level. A lot of times before you need to roll for tokens, so you could buy a token and sell it. This kind of works in the same way, where instead of selling the token, it just makes your the tavern cost cheaper, so you can do the same game.
That's right. I really do love that Jack Swabby entered the minion pool and now Elemental because it kind of makes it more common for everybody to get a token-like effect and not really have the entire early game dictated by who does and doesn't get tokens. But
yeah,
we're not going to be seeing AFK do anything for a while. Which one of these heroes do you want to take a look at?
We can take a look at Verov. It looks like he might be deciding whether to level or to bet. He's going for the bets. A lot of times. This is actually kind of a difficult bet unless you know that the Yogg is staying on 1. The Wind Fury from the Alakira might give him the edge. So normally if you see the Yogg leveling to 2, I think I would go Alakira. But if you see the Yogg staying on 1, then I would go for the Yogg.
I'm glad you bring that up because Buddylicious, his teammate is actually the Yogg in XQN, so he can have that information as to whether Yogg is staying on 1 or not. And he does bet on his teammate. So I assume that from XQN, if we can take a look after Barov loses this match, that he did go for the aggro curve.
Welcome back.
Or
he did not.
Okay.
He ended up tying.
Yeah,
he ended up tying. So if they were really trying, they could have said, "Hey, stay on 1," you know. But probably the board for the Yogg wasn't good enough for him to force the stay on 1. Probably didn't roll into a token or something like that.
But he is going to face Buddylicious this time, so they can at least try and engineer a tie. I want to see what AFK is up to now and what they've ended up discovering. And it looks like,
not get
wow,
the,
Pirates though.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Pirates.
Hey, come on, this is pretty thick. It's 2/5/5.
It's okay, but it's not the dragon scaling that I was hoping for to see. It is going to be much stronger this turn. He is going to beat the opponent fairly easily. I think he was trying to... maybe this is his teammate because the positioning kind of seems like he's trying to at least take 1 less damage. But if it was his teammate, he didn't have to play both of his minions if it was the teammate. So he could have actually dealt less damage to him, but still a reasonable play. He did have to play both because they both trigger from that battle cry. So he was forced to make that play and hurt him. It looks like we're looking at Kalthos right now. He has he's deciding what he wants to buy here. He doesn't have this seems like a pretty clear buy because he's either deciding the level here or the buys are pretty clear because he doesn't have a demon on the board. So yeah, he is just gonna buy the best one.
Nothing quite yet that he particularly wanted to land the Kael'thas buff on, so we don't have anything interesting to talk about in terms of do you freeze this to try and land the buff on the Divine Shield, but maybe in the next shop.
Alright, looks like we're looking at Lich King. Lich King kind of has a decent board. He does have a pair on his board right now, so maybe he's looking to get a triple and maybe find an early Jhin or something like that. His board state isn't super duper strong for turn 6. Usually people have 5 minions, or if you get absolutely unlucky, don't roll any of the token generating minions. So a little bit unlucky with his rolls, but should barely lose, unfortunately.
big deal that Lich King didn't even hit a Death Rattle minion for tempo as a good target for his hero power, but maybe the party elemental pair can help him scale out for the long term.
Yeah, definitely worried about this player unless he gets a triple into the elemental. He doesn't really have any good direction. He did have a smorgasbord of death rattles to pick from, so he is going to get a lot stronger. And he does have the gambler, so he can get a power spike turn maybe next turn or in the next couple of turns. So we'll see how it works out for him. I would personally probably take the 3/3 there.
And then use that as a death rattle target. It was quite interesting, right? Because you can even make an argument for Selfless Hero, but maybe it was a bit too early for that. For show, it looks like he is trying to get the triple into a 5-drop next turn.
He's looking for Caligos. He's just gonna level into Caligos. I know this is the way. Actually, Caligos would actually be pretty good here because he does have 2 dragons on the board. But he might go for a 5 next turn. We're really gonna have to see whether he decides to level next turn or get the 5. Probably depending on how much damage he takes here. But he is against the Lich King, which wasn't particularly strong. He does buy the 3/3. That we were talking about before we moved on.
Oh man, it just goes to show how insane this meta is that you can be on 7 gold and think about how am I going to get my Caligos, but you're absolutely right. That is the name of the game, power spiking here. But again, for show, this is, and for everyone of course, this is a team tournament, so going for consistent placements might be the strategy you want to go for. And he's already taking tons of damage this turn. The fact that he's tripling with the Vulgar Homunculus means he'll take a bit more damage. So honestly, I would chicken out here and go for the 4-drop.
I think the fact that he took the 10 damage here kind of solidifies that he probably needs to get a lot stronger this turn, or he might just get blown out. Unless he's fighting his teammate here, I think getting the 5 would probably give him some direction to do something for the next feature, because he could, if he decides to level and go for the Caligos, he can't lose anymore, and he'll probably take like 15 damage if the Omu is anyways decently statted. So.
Oh, that's so interesting because Omu is his teammate. So why don't we take a look at what Fridorus's board state looks like?
That explains the level up. And that also, looking at Fridorus's board, explains why he's allowed to level up here. He's definitely not the strongest. So this is where team play really comes in handy, where in any other situation, I would say that you should probably almost definitely take the 5 here so you don't get blown up. But knowing that you're fighting a teammate, your teammate can weaken his board to this extent where you actually have a chance of not taking too much damage, allows him to go for the 6-drop potentially if he wants to.
Yeah, that's really huge. What do you think about that?
He still loses. he still loses. Isn't that amazing? He had a full board. The opponent had 3. He still loses. Takes 9 damage. That is what I'm talking about. If your opponent did not make his board as weak as humanly possible, he could have been completely blown out there. The freeze was a little interesting though.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you think about freezing for, I believe, the South E captain, which was just gonna be a pair? Didn't feel particularly strong.
He did have some pirates on his board, so he could also take the there were 2 pirates, so he did hit the Caligos.
He might be dead.
Yeah, that is the real shame here, that he could actually just be dead here and won't get to live the Caligos dream if he dies. So we got to see. It is 9 goals, so this isn't like super late where it'd be unusual to survive here. So he can definitely live, especially buying the battle cry here. But this is moment of truth here. If he can survive this turn and get a really good nice turn next turn, he can actually dominate and get top 4 easily. So we'll see what happens to him.
But the Alakir board look, I don't know. I think it's gonna get buffed well, and he'll get at least 5 procs from the Soul Juggler.
The Alakir board looks like it's ready to ruin some dreams.
Right?
Let me tell you that right now. It's gonna be very difficult for sure to recover here.
Sho has 2, 3, 4 taunts, which, you know, at first glance they line up well against the Imprisoners, but the 2 spawns of N'Zoth will make his day very sad indeed. And even the 13 health on the Caligos, I don't think is going to be enough to eat up all of these Soul Juggler hits. We'll see, maybe with all the perfect trades.
Yeah, he does have the 5/13, which is really the saving grace for him not to get blown out. He might survive, hopefully, if things work out for him. But honestly, it doesn't look good.
Doesn't look pretty. I mean, if this egg stays up and the Soul Juggler, you can kiss the Calico stream. Goodbye.
This is what I'm talking about. The dream is ruined. Sho had the setup, but he just took too much damage. This is the issue. He had to go for the 5 there, and he went for the greedy line, which I don't actually hate. But unfortunately, he just took too much damage from his partner. If there was a way his partner could make it a little bit less painful for him, but unfortunately, he couldn't do it.
Yeah, his partner couldn't do that without hurting his own game plan too much. But we do have another Dragon Dreamer here, and they do hit a Caligos in a much safer board state.
It does kind of look like everyone is looking at the results from the first 2 matches and saying, oh, dragons are pretty good right now. Let me just, try to force dragons every game. It seems to be working out for the winners so far. So everyone's kind of learning the meta of the tournament from the first 3 games. People are really seeing that dragons are doing well and they're trying to force it themselves.
I was going to ask you before Buddylicious did end up finishing the turn is when you get Caligos, I find that it's hard to optimize like how much gold you want to spend on filling your entire board with dragons versus just buying the battle cries immediately so that you don't fall too far behind. From Bootylicious, we saw him throw away his full board state just to get another dragon online. Do you agree with the play?
I think that makes perfect sense, especially because he's fighting the ghost, so he knows that he's going to be a little bit weaker. I think in the early game, you definitely want to fill your board with as many dragons as possible. Benefits if you can hit Razor Gore or Murazan, just because Murazan will give you extra gold to get a lot of scaling. Razor Gore scales by itself, so those 2, if you can roll into early, sometimes you might just skip weaker dragons just to see if you can hit those 2 and skill from them.
Bootylicious here just thinking, thank goodness Sho already died this early on because now I had the Caligos in the pool and no competition for dragons. At least from Sho.
That's definitely true. Definitely good, safe play from him getting the Caligos from Sho's dead body, I would say.
But Rogojin gonna take quite hefty damage here by virtue of the Bolvar, able to take a value trade potentially, but in the end it still gets rid of the Wildfire Elemental.
Yeah, the Wildfire Elemental staying alive would have been the big punish there, but unfortunately he gets to kill it off before he takes too much damage there. He does have a lot of pairs, 2 pairs in his board. Yeah, the Baron is also a good pickup for this turn to make him safer. Right now he needs to triple something, otherwise he will definitely fall far behind. He doesn't have so he doesn't have Void Lord, which is what I was about to say, but he does pick it up, so he's in a much better spot, I think, now. He does need another extra juggler. If he can find another juggler, I think he'll be in a really good spot as well.
This is pair gaming at its finest. What does he end up selling here, and does he
probably
even need to play the Baron?
I think he can probably the Baron would be better for him this turn, just because he does have 2 spawns on the board, and he is going to go for the Void Lord. The issue with the Void Lord over the Baron here is that the Void Lord can get sniped, so you're adding a high variance of RNG. Also, the Baron will trigger the double death rattle. I do think this is okay, so he is going to sell the egg to do both. Okay, I think that is a way to salvage it. I don't think he needed to do that because the egg with the spawn is very strong. I do think just generally he could have just held on to the Void Lord for this turn and been strong enough, but this is a good salvage play. Make sure that he can be strong enough.
He did definitely give himself the most tempo this turn at the expense of some gold flexibility for the next turn, but maybe he did have some knowledge on Bootylicious being this strong.
Really strong, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely I'm definitely big on holding gold to utilize it when you need it, but I do think in these tournaments sometimes holding gold might be the determining factor of you taking like 10 extra damage that you didn't need to. So it makes a lot of sense.
You get a lot of extra information from teammates, and all of these juggles will be the saving grace for Rogojin.
Yeah, Void Lord doing a lot of work here, saving him here a lot of damage. So it's nice to see. He's also punishing the player here, dealing about 15 damage to him. So very good punish from him. Found the turn. Ooh. 2 triples this turn, getting 2 6-drops.
Yeah, that is a lot of chances to hit Lil Rag, Amalgadon even.
Selling the spawn, I like this play.
Yeah,
I
it's
think this
actually
makes
just
a lot of sense.
the worst minion in this case because he wants room to really go for this elemental train. I love it as well. But
He has to buy here.
right.
Or he'll throw a gold away. Okay. I wonder if he's looking at the mirror zone, depending on what he fought last turn.
He will be facing Fishu, who is the leader of the pack at the moment, so definitely thinking about just getting more stats on the board as well.
Yeah, this Yogg is definitely getting a power play. Hopefully it'll be enough because he is on 2 lives, so he needs to be strong this turn. He doesn't have an extra roll, so he just has to hope this is enough. This board is okay. Hopefully his things on the end can carry him, the 2618 and the 943. Hopefully they're enough stats for him to be able to survive this turn. Ooh, I like his positioning.
Yeah, the Nomi in front is such a big deal here to snipe the Divine Shield off of the Poison Amalgadon, which means the Wildfire Elemental can also just kill that off and remove the Divine Shield on the Kraken.
Yeah, I think he had absolutely no chance if he didn't position there correctly. So you can see the difference in positioning, where here it looks like he does have a chance to actually survive with the 937 killing most of his board, where before if he had the poison, the big minion just go into the Divine Shield, he would have had absolutely no chance to survive. So you can really see the difference in positioning causing whether him taking a lot of damage or dying here. So
that Gar was MVP. The big one, that is, but also the little ones generated because that's a free triple that XQN gets. Oh my goodness.
Nar triples are also insane. So he's in a lot better spot than he was just a turn ago with this triple. So we'll see if this can carry him. This is our first, I think, Nomi gamer that we're seeing of the tournament, and you can really see how powerful it can be. Everything scaling up really effectively. You can see he's utilizing the Jins. That's kind of scary because the Jins are weak themselves, so he might want to sell those Jins at some point and replace them with a lot stronger minions, but maybe he'll be enticed by the greed to keep the Jins alive for a little bit longer.
Oh, I am always enticed by the greed, but you make a really good...
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, that's one way to do it as well. Just triple it off of the Discover, so really, really nice to see him getting all the lucky needs.
I was gonna make this poignant point about, when you have 2 Jins and the Nomi, that's essentially 3 board spaces deleted from your actual threat, but now he gets to have the best of both worlds.
He needs to roll into a... Okay, he found it. He doesn't have a lot of time, though.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of time.
Push the button here. Push the button?
Yeah, he pushed it. He didn't have the time. But at least he got it. He got his plays down. So he preferably wanted to swap the 910 for a big ooh, maybe not. Maybe he knew his opponent's board, but the juggler doesn't work here because the juggler is golden and it's just gonna go into the. This is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but we'll see if he has enough steps. Yeah, we'll see if he has enough steps.
I'm not sure if he had direct information on the board save, but he could have just seen demons except for one, and you can kind of just assume that that's a juggler build.
Yeah, it looks like the jugglers are going to be too big. I don't know if even picking up the extra elemental would have been enough. Actually, I'm disrespecting. I'm disrespecting the no. Yeah, I am definitely disrespecting the Gar. It's gonna be big enough.
Oh, Gar. This Gar from XQN, even before it was golden, before when it was a little baby, it soloed the last board, and now it's golden, all grown up, and it's soloing all the juggler hits from this Alec here, and that means the Yogg from 2 health is in prime position to pull everything back and maybe even land.
Yeah, I did not notice how big that thing was. I was just looking at everything else on the board, and I did not see how strong it was going to be keeping it alive. So yes, it looks like he's in a really good spot now, though. With a golden Jin getting a lot of double value every turn, with the scaling from the Gnar, as long as he can avoid poison opponents, it looks like Murlocs aren't in the lobby and beasts aren't in the lobby as well. So it's actually extremely difficult to get poison in this lobby. So the elemental, this is probably the main reason why elementals are doing so well in this lobby. both Murlocs are out and the beasts are out, so you can't get an easy 2/8 poison. You only have to rely on Amalgadon rolling into poison or the 1/1. So elementals look to be doing a lot of damage here.
It's also a big deal that one of the Caligos players got poached by another one, so the dragons couldn't quite try to bully the elementals before they could really pop off. But
That's
last
true
time we
as well.
checked in with Silver Name, he had 2 pirates. Now he has a full Divine Shield build, which definitely looks like just trying to make sure he can land in top 4,
Yeah.
but there's no chance against elementals in this stage.
He found another Gnar, so they're really doing a lot of work. It looks like Silver Name was trying to go for a top 4 gameplay, just avoiding the really strong people in the lobby, but he did have a not a top tier hero. AFK didn't get a top tier start with the with no Hungry Dragon or Bronze Warden, so he was trying to salvage it. He did end up not being 7th or 8th, so he does have that going for him. Maybe he can be. He's definitely going to be 6th here because he got lost by the person in front. So even if the Omu dies, he'll still be 6th. So.
That's right. He was just making the best with the resources he was given, but it's a very big deal because his partner Goddammit did finish at 7th. So this is the lobby where the other half of players who have been trying to catch up the green team this whole time, this is where they can try and equalize things. We have now the dragon player looking for Nadina. Is this safe to level?
This is unfortunate because Fridorus and Show also got bottom 4 here too. That was the white team that we've been talking about there. Unfortunately, got another bad performance here. So it looks like the other 2 teams are going to be catching up. The 2nd and 3rd places are all here. So they're really going to get a lot of value this round.
I was about to ask about the Argus positioning because I tend to think there's 2 ways he could have gone about it. Just put the buff on the things that have taunt already if you don't want to play into cleave, or just put it on 2 without taunt to give you more chances of value from strong shell.
So this positioning makes a lot of sense if you are planning on hitting a Nadina. It means that the Nadina is a lot more controlled, where you know what are going to get the divine shields and you're not going to get randomly blown out by a random cleave, right? If you have everything taunted, then sometimes your opponent goes first. They have a gigantic full Reaper. It blows out 3-4 of your not 4, but 3 of your minions out of there, and you're far behind. So this is a much safer play, especially if you're going to find a Nadina to just make sure that you don't get unlucky in those hits. However, it doesn't look like anyone has cleaves, but it's still just good habit forming if you are going to play that way.
Oh my goodness. Golden Juggler, regular Juggler, Golden Mal'Ganis. These dragons, I want to say they're big enough, but I've been proven wrong by many a juggler.
Yeah, this is the difficulty with juggler comps. You are going to be extremely strong in the early game. You can see he's still in 1st place because he's been able to avoid a lot of damage by juggling off a lot of the problem minions and just like being able to kill things. But eventually juggler comps do get outscaled. There's only so many jugglers you can realistically hit unless your Imam was hitting extra Void Lords and things like that. So he was actually fairly close, not going to die or anything here, but probably going to fall off in the next couple of turns. So Rogojin, we can see him probably going to, take top 3 or so. However,
I feel that he didn't get lethal damage though. I was gonna say before the Lich King died, the top 4 were 2 pairs of teammates. Now it is Bootylicious and XQN teamed up against Rogojin.
Yeah, it looks like I had a lot of faith in Rogojin actually winning the lobby just because he had a really good setup with the Gnar and the elemental scaling, with the fact that there aren't that many answers to his board state. People have to find the 1/1. So unless you fight this guy before, you're not going to know how big the Gnars are, right? And if you fight this guy, you're going to die. So the moment you know you need to start picking up poisons is the moment you're dead. So it really looks like he's just going to take the lobby, especially when he already has a teammate as his opponent. So it's looking really good for him. He really found the way to make things work.
Yeah, XQN should also have knowledge on what Rogojin's comp is because his teammate did face him a while ago. It's definitely going to be really difficult for Rogojin to try and pull it out, but it's such a big deal that Bootylicious and XQN are able to get this win because they were definitely falling
He
behind.
did find the poison. Oh, if he could, it. I actually don't think it would have been enough. But if that poison could have hit the Nar or the Gar, it might have made this look a little bit closer. But probably still lost. I mean, those Amalgadons are so huge as well, so it'd be really tough for him to have an answer here. But he did play to his outs. You know, that's something that good players do a lot. They know they're unfavored. You know, they're likely to lose. What are the one thing I could do to maybe get a cheese win? I could buy the 1/1 poison, put it first. Maybe it kills both of the Nars, and I have enough damage from the other sources. But wasn't good enough.
Absolutely. For Rogojin in that type of spot, if he knows that he's just faced with an even bigger board than what he couldn't destroy the turn prior, it wouldn't be surprising to see him just go for a bunch of points.
He skipped the Annoyo module. I know he's fighting against the his teammate, but he skipped the Annoyo module that he could put on the Amalgadon. I just want to mention that. No. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's selling everything.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. I don't think he could have beaten XQN anyways, but if you were trying to play this out realistically, you could realistically just get that poison and put it first and see if it could snipe the Nars, and then the other minions could do something.
They still cared, but the only thing they care about now is finding either a Nat Pagel. Oh wait, sorry. There are pirates here, or a Shifter Xeris. Those are the only two minions I'm interested in.
He's going for the Imam. They're going for which is the strongest one minion I can play to win here, and he's going for the Imam. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Boat would be another good option here. You could also just go for a poison. See if that works.
It's so interesting that 2 lobbies now we've seen Lord Barov in top 2 with a teammate. It really just goes to show you how much stronger this hero can be when you get the additional information from your partner.
Oh, this isn't fair. Wait, this isn't fair. I thought this was gentleman's agreement. We both play 1 minion. What is this? What is this? 2351. That's not fair.
41 damage, a true OTK unless it was patchwork on the other side. Really, really impressive from both Bootylicious and XQN, because now they are teammates in first and second, and XQN also just won the first lobby, so maybe trying to equalize their silver name though, and Goddammit still shouldn't feel too bad about their performance because they did give themselves quite a bit of leeway earlier on. Collins, not so much dragon action this time.
I do think that this is going to shake up the standings, and as we can see here, they actually took over Dummit and Silvername here with their performance. Their consistency has been showing up here. You can kind of see there are some people falling down behind. A lot of 8 places for some of the people at the bottom standings, but there are two teams in the lead. Hopefully they can continue showcasing their performance. You were right. There were no dragons here, probably because.
Sorry, it was the Barov, right? That was dragons, and he did end up second. But it did seem like elementals were king in that lobby. I'm just really curious the fact that we've seen dragons in top 4 pretty consistently. What's going to happen in a lobby where they're banned away?